Hello and welcome to the Wedding Pro podcast, the podcast where we share tips and tricks for wedding vendors and couples, share insight into the wedding world, and share about our experiences. We are Gracie and Angela Felix of Felix Wedding Films. We are so glad you tuned into this week's episode. Now let's get into it. All right. Well, welcome back to the Wedding Pro podcast. I'm so excited for this week's episode. We're continuing the series. It's called What Wedding Vendors Wish You Knew. And this week's episode is called What Wedding Videographers Wish You Knew. I'm very excited for our guests. We have Christiana and Luke from Canon Films. They're going to share all about their expertise as wedding videographers. Of course, Angela and I probably could have done this episode, but we wanted to bring you guys on because we just really admire your work. We admire you guys as a team, and we're super excited to just kind of get into it. But before I, ask all the questions, I'd love to have you guys share a little bit about yourselves so that the listeners can learn who you are, and then we can kind of jump into it.
All right. Thank you, Gracie. We're really excited to talk to y'all. Yeah, so we have been working together since right before we got married, it's been about 12 years. And Luke started out filming on his own, and then I kind of joined in. I started looking over his shoulder and having an opinion on how he was doing things, and I kind of stuck my way in. And
she quickly became my boss, and she basically just runs everything now. So she is a queen, and keep going.
Yeah. We have 4 kids, and so we love working together. We love working independently. Being self-employed just gives us a lot of freedom with our kids, which is really great.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll also say that I'll today, 12 years into it, I'm the one that will show up with the team and film the wedding, and then I'll come home and Christiana will take all the footage and edit the wedding. So she is the storyteller, editor in chief. I'm kind of in the field there, running the team and filming.
Yeah.
And it's been we didn't start out that way. We would, shoot weddings together, but after having kids, it just kind of
it's evolved.
That's how the roles have kind of come about.
Yeah.
So
we've really defined different roles now, which works really well.
Yeah, that's a little bit about us.
That's awesome. Well, I was super excited because obviously, Angela and I are a husband and wife team as well. And I always love seeing other husband and wife teams. Okay. And everybody always does it so differently. Sometimes both edit, sometimes one edits, sometimes both film, sometimes one is out there. So I was just excited to have you guys on. And I wanted to have a little brag session for you guys. Your films, if the listeners have not watched them, are absolutely beautiful. We love your films. And I know that you guys have been featured in a lot of the top publications like Vogue, Over the Moon, People. And I know that you probably wouldn't mention this, but for the listeners, just so that you know who they are, they have filmed weddings for a lot of really well-known celebrities. So these people are someone that you really want to listen into. So
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Awesome. Well, I would love to kind of talk specifically to couples first about wedding videography misconceptions, and then talk more towards vendors, because obviously before we were recording, we were saying that, if you're not a videographer, you don't really know the ins and outs. You could kind of have an idea, but there's just so much more to it. For our couples, what do you feel are some common misconceptions that couples have when it comes to wedding videography?
Okay, I think the biggest misconception is that that videography is so seen as a last minute purchase, a last what do we have? If we have the extra room in the budget. It's always been like that. It's 12 years into the business. That's how it's been from the beginning. And I get it because it is kind of a luxury expense, but I also think that I hear so many couples say that at the after their wedding has been completed and we give them their film, so many couples are okay, this was my favorite thing about our wedding is having a film.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
like comes and goes, and like you forget what was said during the speeches. Like you won't remember anything. You forget like what it felt like and even who you talked to. And so it's like, obviously it's something that I think all of us wedding videographers are working towards, is helping push our part of the industry to say like, this is important. And it is like an expense, but like, I personally feel like, and I tell brides this all the time, even if like they don't go with us, I'm like, listen, just get video. Like whoever you can find, just get video, because it most likely will be your favorite part of the wedding day. And looking back, and it is an investment, but I mean, 20 years down the road, your grandchildren, children, whatever, they're all going to watch it. So, I think that's what I would say.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Christiana, or did he take those words right out of your mouth?
I think I think it's gotten a lot better, but it always used to feel like we were the last vendor booked, and which is, it's understandable. But yeah, I think to what he was saying, that video is like kind of like photography, is kind of the misconception, I would say.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've completely seen that as well. And like you said, as the years go on, as we, run our business for longer and longer, we see a lot more couples prioritizing video, but there's definitely still those couples that reach out like a month before, expecting that video is going to be this cheap little add-on. And it's like, oh, no.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry to disappoint.
yeah. I know. I feel like the bearer of bad news sometimes. I'm like, no, we're a whole vendor.
Yeah, it's true. And what do you feel like couples should look for beyond just like price and beyond just style when booking a videographer?
Yeah. A personality vibe, like clicking with your vendors, is really important because we spend so much time with you. Well, Luke spends a lot of time with you on the wedding
But
day.
you spend a lot of time afterwards. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
And your personality really feeds into that too.
Yeah, it's true. I think, just getting along with your vendors in like a way that feels like friends, is super important, and it's going to really enrich your wedding day. It goes from having like a team of strangers on your wedding day to feeling like a support system. When you're having a freak out moment, you can turn to your photographer, your videographer, your planner, and be like, just look to them for like some support. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you're going to be like potentially best friends with this bride and groom towards the end of the day. Like you've been on one of their most important days of their life, and you're with them and you're around them and their best friends and family members. So I think it's really important to find like, to like get on the phone and talk to them or video chat, just so you can like, know if like, is this
vibe.
person going to be fun or awkward or like,
Yeah, it's like a personality match. And Luke was saying earlier too that like, you're also kind of your vendor team is kind of a representation of you to your guests. So like the way that your videographer interacts with your guests on the wedding day is going to affect their experience too. So if you're, professional and fun and like chatting it up with the family members, like in between, like it can really be a fun thing. So as opposed to
Yeah, I completely agree. I think something that you said that was really important that I think a lot of couples forget is professionalism, because yes, of course, there's the wedding day and we want to be professional. We want to be personable, personality. It's a good match. But then also thinking about like before the wedding day, because Christiana, I'm sure that you are, like emailing, having calls with them before the wedding day, interacting with them. And then, of course, after the wedding day. And I think a lot of couples forget that it's like the whole experience. And, maybe someone fits the budget, but maybe they're not that professional, not that organized. I think those are like the little things that are important for couples to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. I think we weren't as professional when we first started out. So we've learned a lot along the way, and we know what to expect on the wedding day. So we know how to communicate with vendors and publications and all these things. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And how far in advance do you think couples should book their videographer? And then do you feel like that's like a personal preference, or do you feel like that's, industry standard?
I just think that you should kind of book your photographer. Well, I don't know. I feel like you should book your photographer and videographer around the same time. Early on, you need to find the date and the venue and the planner, and then usually it's like, okay, photographer next, and then it might be a series of vendors, and then going back to like, video might be last on the bucket list, but I think finding a videographer that can really like work well with a photographer is kind of important, you know? Um, and so I've always just been like, yeah, I don't know, book around same
a
time.
lot of our bookings come from our photographers, like a recommendation from the photographer that we've worked with in the past. So we love when we see like, oh yeah, our photographers, sent us to you. And then we're like, okay, we work well with them. They're booking us around the same time. Like that is ideal to us.
Yeah.
Of course, like we have plenty of last minute bookings that turn out to be really awesome. So, and we try really hard not to overbook, which is something that we're working on year to year. But,
Yeah.
so like always, like, even if it's getting down to the wire and you change your mind or whatever, like still reach out. Obviously, like try to have some space available for these last minute bookings. But ideal would be not the last.
Yeah. Yeah, we see for our couples, it's literally we're either one of the first booked, with the photographer, or the absolute last booked. And I mean, sometimes the ones that book us last end up booking like the biggest collections. And I'm like, where did all this money come from, like last minute? And then we end up, loving the wedding, loving the couple. It's always very interesting, but I feel like there's no middle ground, at least for us.
Yeah, I know. I kind of agree with you on that, actually.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, so I know that a lot of couples, or at least I feel like a lot of couples, when they think of videography, I think they're thinking, oh, I just get a little teaser for social media and then like a little highlight film and that's it. And, where's my money going? It's just going to this little film. What is a common videography collection to you, and why would you recommend that couples get more than just like a teaser and a highlight film?
At this point, we are only offering one package, and it's just everything that you would want. So yes, you do get a social media teaser. You get a highlight film, which is a little bit longer, but still short enough to watch repeatedly. And then you get your full edited ceremony film. So like, we want that to feel as though like exactly how it felt the day of. So we have multiple camera angles. We have really good clean audio. We use the original songs. So for the ceremony and then for the reception, which is similar, speeches, dances, toasts, how they happened, we wanted to just be like preserved your wedding day exactly how it was, so you could relive it. And then the highlight film is definitely more of like a creative interpretation of it, but like, very personalized to the couple. So, and we also do give people raw footage because there are a lot of fun things that happen behind the scenes, and we love for people to be able to relive that. There's nothing we need, like we don't gain anything from keeping that from them. Like let them have, the funny moments where you hear someone in the background, like, where is my phone? Just things like that. Just so that's like the whole real deal. Like that's what you're hiring us for, is to relive your wedding day. So,
yeah, we've experienced the different packages in the past, but I just couldn't bear to like give a client their highlight film and not give them like we have to like kind of half edit their wedding ceremony anyways to, create a highlight film. And so I just ended up would be giving our clients ceremony reception films anyways. And I'm like, look, you need this. Like, so it's,
we try to just give them everything.
And that kind of came from like when Christiana and I got married, we were like, how do we want to watch our wedding day? Like relive it. And we sat down and kind of that's kind of how we created our package. But
yeah, I love that. I know that all videographers do it differently. And like, I'm sure in the beginning, maybe like us, you guys offered like just a highlight film, or like, I don't know if we ever offered just a teaser. That would be kind of sad. But, you know, when it's just a highlight film or just a highlight film and a teaser, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I wish they had more, which now our collections, we offer more things in them, which obviously bumps the price, but it's like, you need this. Like, I know for a fact you are going to want this. You're going to want the full ceremony, the full speeches, dances.
Yeah.
If, you know, if you go to the rehearsal dinner, you're going to want that footage and just like everything in between, all the special moments. And I think a lot of couples just don't really get that, but we do.
Yeah. And I think something we've realized from having family weddings is that this is like the one time you're going to hear your dad on a microphone saying how he like really feels to everyone. You know, like this is like the one time until your funeral that people are going to be giving speeches about you, basically. So it's like, this is important, you know?
And so, absolutely.
You got to preserve that.
I mean, so often like brides and grooms, they weren't expecting a family member to say something like that. Like I've never seen them do that before, you know?
Yeah.
And I just love capturing moments like that, you know, being there. Just, And something you said earlier too, I want to go back to the misconception question too, because you said something on this question. I think another misconception that most people have is they just don't know how much time you spend editing. Like editing to create the film that we create, you know, takes like, you know, hours and hours and hours. And even like the quick social media reels, a 30-second reel can take like, you know,
quick
a whole day of
quote unquote.
Real.
So I wanted to
Yeah, that is, I'm glad that you brought that up because that's also something that I kind of want to talk about when we talk to vendors. But it's just, in the beginning, when we were a little bit newer in our business, so we didn't look as professional, I think a lot of couples thought, you know, oh, they're cheap, you know, videography is easy, like, I just want a 1-minute film of, you know, my wedding. Why could it be so expensive? But it's like, well, what all goes into that? And also like coverage of the wedding day. It's not like you're just filming 1 hour of the wedding, you know? And there's the prep time before, after, all the time it takes editing. And obviously we're doing more than a 1-minute little reel. We're doing a lot, basically like the whole day. So it's a lot.
People really should everyone should just make a reel one time. So they can see, like, people will pull their hair out. The first reel that you ever make will make you want to cry. So.
And you'll post it and you'll see a mistake and you'll be like, oh no.
So transitioning kind of to like day of the wedding, or honestly, if this is beforehand as well, that's totally fine. But what do you recommend that couples do or don't do so that they can feel more natural and relaxed in front of the camera? Because I'm sure you've heard it all the time. People are like, maybe they don't want to hire a videographer because they don't want to feel like the production, or maybe they're like, oh, I'm so awkward in front of the camera. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we do hear that a lot. Well, I will say Luke is really good at making people feel comfortable. He's not like, he's not much of a like poser, you know, like he's not, he doesn't make it feel like a dramatic magazine pose. I think a lot of it is the photographer too, helping them pose and direct, but we like candid, organic stuff. So like we don't want it to feel like you're stiff and staring straight into the camera and, you know, awkward like that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And you know what? I think too, like, you know, I'm a huge fan of like a first look. And I think before the ceremony, and the biggest reason why is because there is so much like anxiety from the bride and groom to like the moment like the bride sees her groom, it is a totally different bride. And like all that like anxiety and stress and feelings are just, I feel like they're like a new person. And so it's more than just like, you know, trying to give the photographer and videographer content or make it, you know, like the last thing we want to do is make your wedding feel like a styled shoot. Like it needs to be about you and your day.
And how you really act. Like we want it to feel natural.
Yeah. So, you know, I always let the photographer really do a lot of the like directing. We try to really stay behind the scenes and capture what we need to capture. And there's like a few shots or moments of the bride and groom where I'll talk to the photographer and I'm like, okay, let me just get like one shot here. But I think, to answer your question, working well with the photographer and going back to our first question of having just like good personalities, I think getting to know the bride and groom and like getting to really like know who you're working with will make you feel comfortable, and like see each other before the ceremony. It is going to just really chill everybody out.
I agree.
Yeah. I think another thing too that I've started to realize a few years down the road is that you look so different when you look back on yourself. Like at the time you feel awkward and self-conscious and you don't like your voice or whatever it is. But like when you are 10 years, 20 years more down the road and you look back at your young self getting married, you just like have much kinder eyes. And so I've kind of been able to like share that with some couples who are like, I feel weird on camera. I'm like, you will look back and be like, I was adorable.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're just going to be glad that you have it. They're just exactly how you are, you know? So anyway, I know it's hard because I don't even like being on camera. So I'm a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah. We don't really either, but it's like I don't know. I do this podcast and I'm on camera, but I feel like it's a little different than like, you know, whenever we get our headshots done, for example, we're like, oh, this is how our couples feel.
Yeah.
But like to what you were saying, like the candid stuff, that, I mean, obviously we could get some beauty shots that are a little bit posed and, you know, movement, but like for video specifically, photo too, but video, like a lot of it is candids, like, you know, authentic moments. I'm assuming you guys are relatively documentary style, if that's how you would describe yourselves. Is that the word that you would use, or do you guys use another word?
Yeah, I would say so. We're trying to capture things how it happens. Yeah.
And like, obviously other videographers might have different styles. So that is something that couples should have in mind because, you know, some videographers are very posy the whole day. It's like, it is a production and that's what the couple wants. They want it to be like a reality TV show. And, you know, there's videographers for that. But then, you know, for other videographers like us, it's more like we're capturing those authentic moments and really just stepping in every now and then.
And, you know, I feel like the trend is moving towards that anyway. I feel like our younger couples really have an emphasis, like, we want it to feel natural. We want it to feel real.
They want the raw and dirty moments.
Yeah.
The mishaps.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
We just edited a film and got it to a bride, and she's like, oh, can you include that shot where like he dropped me? You know, he was like leaning down for a kiss. And we used the version where, you know, they nailed it. But she loved the version where, you know, and looking back, I'm like, yeah, actually,
it's so much more fun.
Really fun moment.
Yeah.
They're laughing and it was cute. And so it's, you know, little things like that.
Have you noticed that, Gracie, that it's like kind of trending towards like more genuine, authentic?
Yeah, I have so we're going into our 7th year. Not there yet, but almost there. So I've definitely seen like a transition from literal perfection, like it's got to be perfect, can't include any of those raw moments, to like definitely want to include all those raw, real emotions. Yes, still polished, but like, you know, sometimes couples like the intentional camera shake or like the imperfections of Super 8 or, you know, all the fun stuff that we really like.
Gives it more texture. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And kind of on this same note of like candid versus posed, all that good stuff, what is your perspective on couples having like a must-have shot list specifically for videographers?
I don't know if we've ever had one.
Well, let me say this. We do have one in our camera gear, and our second shooters, like we ask them to like make sure those things are covered. But I feel like at this point, Luke just kind of knows what needs, like, it's just sort of routine. You know, he knows we've got to get an establishing shot. We've got to get the tablescapes from wide, medium, and close, you know, just all the different things. So I feel like you kind of just know it. But also Luke is just really good at like filming constantly. So Like he's just not.
I never
Yeah,
stop filming. I just hit record and just walk around and
Never stop recording.
Yeah, one long shot. No,
10 hours of footage.
yeah, no, we have a shot list for my team, so I can like direct them beforehand. And when I send them to the cocktail hour, they know that they have like a vision on how to like capture a cocktail hour. It's not just standing there pointing a camera and trying not to be awkward. It's about
that is the awkward part.
It's about like finding the like relationships and like the story and like the people that are interacting with each other and stuff like that and having fun.
But yeah, you don't really work from a shot list anymore.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Okay.
Was
your
question saying how do you feel about like a bride and groom giving their videographer a shot list? Was that what you were asking? Okay.
Yeah. So specifically, like if they sent you like inspo is one thing, but if they were like, I really like this pose, I want this pose, I want that, I want this exact candid quote unquote moment, I want this exact thing, here's all the shot, like here's 7 pages.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yes. And I'll tell you, the photographer was not happy because she didn't know we had a shot list too. And after that, I was like, I need to talk to these couples because we can't be doing this. I don't love receiving a shot list because I feel like it really does hinder us from creatively capturing what's happening. Of course, like, yes, we want to get some cute posed, quote unquote, or like prompted moments, but we have received a few shot lists from couples in the past. Some of them are very long, some of them are somewhat short, but the one time a few years ago, the photographer didn't know that we had a shot list, and it was very specific. And we had to, it was like a very elaborate shot list, and it just it wasn't a very good cohesive way of us working like naturally throughout the wedding. So that's what I was referring to. If you guys have never had that, that's great.
Great. That sounds like a nightmare, honestly. I think it just comes down to trusting your vendors. It sounds to me like a lack of trust. Like, I want to make sure that you get this shot. Like, look at our films. Do you feel like we're going to get what you need? Like, what we make. This is what we create. So
I've always told brides too, like that we really let the photographer take the reins on this, so they're not having 3-4 different people telling them what to do.
Having multiple shots.
If that ever happened, I just feel like I'd give the shot list to the photographer and if there's we can try to work with that. But that
photographers are famous for saying that. Make them do all the homework.
I mean, we have tripods and audio and drones and sound and everything else to like deal with that. The last thing I also need to be doing is telling the bride like how to put her chin and like step up. Like people got that covered. You got all sorts.
And I feel like photographers are not going to expect that a videographer has very specific shots. Of course, they'll expect that we'll step in here and there to like direct something, but I don't think they're thinking you have a full page of shots like that don't fit into the timeline.
That is not going to go over well, I think, for most photographers. When we're like, okay, hold on, we've got to do 10 shots here, I feel like it would really slow down the day. So in general, not to say like our couples can't have an opinion about what kind of shots they want. Obviously, like we like to be collaborative, but also, shot list. I think people would just need to know that that's definitely not how we operate. I don't think it's so far
not typical
at all. Yeah, not typical.
Yeah. And maybe photographers would say they don't want a super long shot list either. So I don't know. We'll be talking with a photographer soon. So we'll wait and see what she says.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So kind of changing topics a little bit, but we were talking about this earlier and I don't want to miss it. Obviously, we all know that not every couple hires a videographer, and that most couples, if not all, like maybe 99.9% regret that. Why do you feel like they don't hire us? And then like, going off of that question, why is videography like a must have? Even if they don't book us, even if they don't book you, why do they need to hire a videographer?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what we were saying, and people are afraid it's going to be awkward. They're afraid it's going to feel like they've got a news crew in their face, or just budget. Like those are, I think, are the big reasons that people would not hire us, or hire a videographer. But like Luke was saying, like it doesn't have to be us. Like just get someone, even if it's a family member, for goodness sake. Like just, you're not going to experience your wedding. You're going to spend so much money on this wedding day. And it's going to be a lot for you, no matter what your budget is. It's going to feel like a lot. And spending a little bit extra to preserve it feels like a really good investment for the amount that you're going to spend on it. And then it's just gone, you know? So if you hire a videographer, the photographer too, but it's a completely different thing. The videographer gives that back to you, that day back to you. You know, you get to hear the vows, the speeches, the voices, the music, the interactions, the emotions. Like those are things that are going to be gone, basically. You know, they're just memories. And anyone who's been married knows, like, you just don't remember it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I also think that
kind of black out at points.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fever dream.
I think so much of what we have to offer too is a gift for like years down the road, you know? And 6 months, 4 months, whatever, right after the wedding. I think when people are planning their wedding, they're thinking of like the actual day. You know, what do my flowers look like? What is like, who's going to like speak at our wedding? You know, what are our guests going to eat? What music do we want to dance to? It's all about like the present and
the experience of it, which is important for sure.
Video is definitely like, you know, cherished after the fact. And so I think that that's kind of important for, I don't know, brides and grooms to have that on their radar, is that like, it doesn't seem like we're going to be giving you much right now. But yeah, and I think that's the main reason why video can often be overlooked.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I agree with what you're saying. The day of, it doesn't feel, it's not a day of addition, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully we do add something because I guess, but like, yeah, it's mostly for the future. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. We occasionally have, even if you don't have kids, like family members who weren't there, you know, like older grandparents who are not going to be around forever, you know, just like having those memories with them. And even like nieces and nephews in the future. We get videos regularly of our couples showing their film to their kids.
Oh.
And it's just so cute. We're like, oh my gosh, first
cute.
of all, wow, like we've been doing this long enough that you have like grown children who are talking. And also just so sweet to be like, oh, that's like a whole new wave of enjoying your wedding memories is with future generations. So
yeah. Like I said, I'm so passionate about this, and even more now that like we have a daughter. Obviously we're recording this ahead of time, but currently pregnant, but by the time this airs, our daughter will be here, and it makes me so happy to think that one day we're going to watch our wedding films with her, and she'll be able to see, you know, loved ones that maybe she'll never meet, or, you know, she'll get to see her aunts and uncles that look a little bit younger in the video. And I just think of like a lot of our couples will come back to us and tell us, hey, I'm so glad, like I know it's been 3 years or however many years, but I'm so glad that we hired you because such and such family member passed away, and I'm so happy to have footage of this person. Or like, hey, do you have any more footage of this person? Because we've had like a parent pass away of, you know, a bride and groom. We've had like the priest, just people that the couple has loved. Yeah. And they're preserved forever on their films. And that's why I love videography. That's why I love what we do.
Yeah, because everyone you know is going to die.
Not to be too grim, but
I'm just kidding.
Know?
No, but it's true. Like the memories that you have of like your grandparents, like a few people, he has Super 8 footage of his grandpa. Grandparents, like that is super rare and really cool. So hopefully we can give a similar gift to other people's families.
Yeah, it'll be something super, super special. And like, I mean, it's special already, but like in 50 years, oh my goodness, like couples are not going to be upset about what they paid 50 years ago when they have all this amazing footage. Before we move on to like vendors, do you have any hot takes when it comes to just like how couples approach working with videographers or anything that relates to that?
Yeah, I do. Do you have one?
You go first.
Hire someone who has the style that you're looking for. Don't like hope that they can recreate something you saw on Instagram. That's a completely different style. Like what we have like on our like especially on our website and our longer format films, that is what we produce, you know? And we have worked really hard to become consistent. And so it's occasionally we'll have someone who's like, "Hey, we would like something kind of like this." And I'll be like, "That's just not at all what we make." Like, you know, it's not it's almost like a different media, you know? It's a different format. So that is something that has
I
been
like that.
on my mind lately. Like, don't expect someone to change their style for you. Just book someone who has your style already. That's my hot take.
I like it. What about you, Luke? Anything?
She took what I was gonna say.
Well, you also had mentioned before that people can make a really snappy reel on Instagram that looks great, but their longer stuff is not as consistent. And like I said, we've been doing this for a long time, so our experience comes in the like we can give you a good film no matter what happens on your wedding day. So like consistency, like going off of someone's viral reel might not be a good indicator of what they're like as filmmakers. That might have just been like a lucky moment, or it's like short, you know, it's 1 minute long. So they got all their best stuff and it's a minute long. So I think like really take the time to look into your videographer's portfolio and see like, are they consistently making good films that you can trust?
Yeah, that's good. It's a good one. Yeah, this doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened before where on like the initial call with a potential client, I've asked them, "What did you like about our films?" And a few times I've gotten an answer, "Oh, I haven't really looked at your films, but I've looked at your social media and I like your reels." And I'm like, I mean, great, but look at our films.
Yeah.
They're very different than reels. Very, very different.
Yeah. I mean, just the music alone, right? Like you can use any song on an Instagram reel. It's like, you know, a classic. And people love that and they wish that they could, you know, sometimes people will request that their highlight film have like a classic song in it or a popular song in it. Like, well, watch our films. They have a completely different soundtrack.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, but also because then you wouldn't be able to hear anyone talking if you had Elvis on the whole time, you know? So it's, you're right. Like, go watch.
Yep.
Yeah. And no shade. Like, if you want another style, like our feelings won't be hurt. Like, I don't want to work with someone who I'm going to disappoint because I can't edit something that they like, you know?
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's why it's important to hire someone who's not only fits the budget, fits your, you know, personality, but also like the style fits what you're looking for, or at least, you know, you can trust them to create something that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, moving on to vendors, speaking directly towards our lovely friends that are vendors, what do you feel like are some common misconceptions that vendors have about videographers? If you have specific vendor categories, you could share that. If you just want to speak to vendors overall, that's totally fine.
Misconceptions are that we're in the way, we're annoying, and I don't know, we're always hungry.
Okay, those things are probably all have been true at some point. But yeah, I think when you reach a certain degree of professionalism, we should be like not in the way. We kind of like we should know better than to have our tripod in the back of someone's shot.
Yeah.
So, you know, we understand that we are kind of bulky. We have a lot of gear. But like it's kind of just necessary.
I think a misconception is that like, you know, we're obviously there for the bride and groom and capturing the whole event, but we're there for you too. You know, we're there for all of our vendors. You know, we're gonna film the caterer's food and film the beautiful dinners you make. Think about like the florist and even the DJ. We're gonna get fun behind the scene moments from them, and we're there like bride and groom first, but we're capturing all of the artists and everyone's creation.
Yeah.
And I think that I love it when a vendor comes up to me and is like, hey, could I like have just a few shots or whatever? Like, I don't mind that at all. Like, yeah, like, because you're appreciating what I'm doing. Like, I want to give that to you.
Yeah.
And I think that vendors are a lot more, they see that today, but like a few years ago, like they didn't stop to think like, oh, let me get video content from this person. Instead, it was just kind of like, oh, you're in the way, like you're ruining the florals, or I don't know, stuff like
video's kind of, it's on the rise, thankfully. We still have a shocking amount of vendors who just don't share video content at all. Which is,
I don't get it.
Easy.
Reels and video content is king, so they should.
It's like the new generation wants to see video. But that's okay. It's like our time is coming. I've been saying this for years now, but it is coming. But yeah, we want to collaborate. Like, we all want this wedding to go well. We want to get beautiful stuff for all our vendors. We want everyone to share our stuff, and we want to share your stuff, and we want to like help each other. So like, as from a vendor standpoint, like we want to help you. Like, we don't want to be in the way. We want to like make something for you that you're going to benefit from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard, people talk about what they think of videographers sometimes. And I'm just like, I just don't know if you're working with the right videographers, if that's your experience.
If you want that.
But I think that as you continue in your many years in the industry, I feel like it gets better and better, and more vendors get us a little bit more, and videographers obviously hopefully become more professional as we like advance. So
yes.
Yeah.
We're you don't just have to tolerate your videographer, like,
yeah, we're like on your side. We're like
yeah, agreed.
Yeah. And how do you feel like photographers and videographers can work more seamlessly together? Because obviously that duo, that dynamic is extremely important on the wedding day. And if, personalities clash, or if it's just not working, if it's just not seamless, it can, what am I trying to say? Basically, how can videographers and photographers work better together is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I've always tried to like, I'm totally stealing this one. I've always tried to like talk to the photographer beforehand, either give them a call, message them on Instagram. And it's funny because sometimes I feel like the photographer is thinking like, oh, great, here's a high maintenance videographer who's going to tell me how he's going to, and I'm like, no, I just like, listen, I want you to like, I want this day to be smooth for you. Like, you have a lot on your plate. I want to like, how can I like help and serve you? And just know that like, communication, just like have a quick phone call and be open to that. Have a quick like, Instagram message. And I think that's kind of all you need. Just like a quick little communication, that meet and greet beforehand, or just work together more on weddings, Oh, and I think the other thing that, is this what you were going to say about like, just like, I think that's the best thing about networking events is that, when you do go to a networking event, you're meeting your photographers and videographers and getting those like connections and hangouts before a wedding is so different. Like, it's so different working together on a wedding when you guys are friends or you know each other from, just different events. So I think that like that in itself is a good reason to go to these networking events,
So you're saying like for a vendor to go meet other vendors so that when you work with them, you feel more like a friend. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or for the couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, probably the vendor.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I
just so our listeners understand.
So vendors, any vendor event that we've gone to, the best thing about it isn't necessarily that you like land weddings from it or whatever. It's just that when you do work with those people, it's like, hi, like, it's not like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. I'm going to put my stuff right here. Is that okay with you? Like, it's a totally different dynamic when you have a little bit of a rapport with those people.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love it when we work. I mean, it's fun working with all kinds of photographers,
sure.
but it's
Yeah.
always fun when it's like someone you know or someone you're friends with. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this wedding.
And that's why referrals from other vendors are really helpful. And I don't want to I don't want us to be like buddy, like only work with people that we know, because that's definitely not the truth. But yeah, when we're like, oh, so-and-so sent us your way, it's always like, great. So we already know that like you kind of like our style and our work, and it's like the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, as videographers, we work the closest with like planners, photographers, obviously DJs at certain points. But what do you wish photographers knew about our work? Like, how could they better understand us? How could they work better with us? Obviously, we're going to try to work really well with them, but like, what's some advice for photographers who are like, I don't really get videographers, but I want to, work well with them to serve my couple. What's some advice?
That is really, really hard. Not that photography it requires so much talent. It's just a completely different skill set. Like I'm not a great photographer. I think people would think that photography and videography go hand in hand, but they're completely different. So the things that we do, well, I feel like I'm speaking for you because he's the one that actually is the videographer, but like the audio, the setup, the lighting, like it's so much less flexible than what the photographers are doing. So I think like understanding that a lot of our focus does have to go to that. I think consideration, just like respecting that we also need to get a good shot, and we're not like, you know, like we owe our couples good footage too. It's not just the for having like priority. And I think like over the years, like we've definitely felt more understood and respected by our vendor peers. So it's definitely gotten better. But yeah, I think for a long time it was kind of like the photographer is the main person, and we're just like off to the side, like scrapping for a good shot,
Yeah.
Do you have anything
Yeah.
that you?
Yeah, I don't think I got any thing to add to this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of photographers get it. I mean, a lot of them know, like, and they're amazing to work with, but there definitely are some that don't really get it. And, you can tell when you're working with them, it's a little bit more difficult. And obviously, you guys are such sweet people and professional. We're, hopefully our couples think we're sweet and professional. So we're going to do our best to like work seamlessly with any photographer. But we've definitely had those weddings where the photographer has made it very difficult unnecessarily, and I don't really know why that is, but I guess I like that you explained that videography it's hard. It's a lot of gear. There's a lot of moving parts. Yes, photography of course is hard as well, but it's just different. And so if we can all work together seamlessly, not prioritizing ourselves, just prioritizing the couple and their family, like not getting in each other's way, communicating, I feel like that's how you make a dream team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think a way to answer this question too is like, the truth is we're kind of like, sometimes we're kind of like the younger sibling to the photographer. We're like their little brother, their little sister, and we can either like work together as a team and like knock this out together and just communicate and be like, okay, how can I help you? Love when a photographer is like, just doing the flat lay and is like, do you like this? And I'm like, can I help you in any way? Can I go get some flowers? And they're like, yeah, actually, could you go to the florist and get some cut links or something? Whatever it might be. Like, I'm here to help you because you're going to help me too. Let's like work together instead of being like an annoying little sibling. Like,
right. It shouldn't feel competitive in any way, which, it doesn't usually feel competitive, but I think maybe that's why it feels a little bit like of attention sometimes, where like, oh, who's this guy coming in with his gear and like trying to get in my shot? Like, it's not about that. It's like working together. So
yeah, this is another topic I'm so passionate about. Basically just vendors being team players. Like That's just all you got to do, really.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Yeah, I've noticed as well. So let's talk about like video usage rights. I know this is not like probably the most fun topic, but I'm sure honestly vendors probably have no idea what legally they're allowed to do with like the videographer's footage or, you know, the photographer's photos, but could you just kind of like share what are vendors allowed to do with our films or reels? Can they share your content or our content without tagging? Can they use it for like paid ads? Can they just like put it on their in what am I saying? Put it on their website without any credit?
Mhm.
Legally, like
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do when it comes to sharing our content?
Yeah.
So, okay, I think I don't know if I'm going to say I might be saying an unpopular opinion here,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, like I actually don't care. Like I know that there are people who are very strict about how you use their stuff. Listen, share it. You know what? I don't even care if you don't tag me in at this point. Someone really likes the video.
This is unpopular.
If someone really likes the video, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, who made that?" Like I do get frustrated when
I think
when I see like a wedding reel that the planner posted, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Who's the videographer?" Yeah, okay, you got to tag them, but
Yeah.
like. But you know what? My biggest problem is people don't share any of our stuff anyway. Like I'm still like sending out films and emailing films and reels and I just want to see you like use it and post it at
Yeah.
least. You know, I don't care if you change the song or that's my opinion. I don't really
Yeah. All right. In general, we are extremely lax about this kind of stuff. Like, honestly, the truth is we have bigger fish to fry. We're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever happens once we send this off is none of our business. I think what Luke is just trying to say, like, our goal is just to like get our stuff out there. And we just wish that people would just post it. Tagging, yes, I think tagging is super important. I feel like it's the
Yeah, I agree.
bare minimum of respect that you can show a creative person is like giving them the credit.
Mhm.
And yeah. I've especially when we've done like more high profile weddings, like part
Yeah.
of the deal
You better
is
tag.
tag us, please.
Yeah.
That is just such a simple thing that you can do to help someone out. So
Mhm.
that's the number one thing. I do also, I kind of hate it when someone changes because I'm more of the editor. I do kind of hate it when people change things about my work. Although in the end, like I just want people to be happy with what they have, and
Mhm.
there's not much. So we are
Luke
like,
is like, do what you want. You're like, please
I mean, we've
respect
had
it.
people use our footage as an advertisement, you know, like as a promotional piece. And I get that like I think I get that like that could like really upset like a creative.
I think it's a communication thing. Like
But-
just reach out and ask like we would say yes if someone was like, hey, can we use it on our website or a paid ad or whatever. We would always say yes. Like, do you need it in a different format? That's how we would respond. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
But like the legalities are, you know, like changing constantly for one thing. And like music rights and things like that. Like these are things that we've had to keep up with because it's
that's the other thing too. Like, I mean, it's a matter of time before, you know, other people come after you for using their face without permission or using their song. You forgot to like do licensing a certain way.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated kind of thing. You know, it's,
yeah.
I'm afraid to be the kind of person to like get all huffy and puffy with certain topics. So that's why I say I might not be the best person to ask for this. Bigger fish to fry. I get it. I'm just excited when someone actually shares stuff. And sometimes like a planner, like I just think also like for all vendors, you really should just collaborate with photos and videos. Like I get that there might be this like thought process of like, I'm a photographer. I'm just going to post a bunch of photos just with my name only on it and like not tag anybody else, maybe the planner, florist, but like just like collaborate and like share like a team effort on the post-production. It really does, I think, help everybody out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I'm all about more sharing, I guess.
But. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Luke, you might be in the minority of but I feel like earlier you were saying like for like couples share, you don't have to tag us. It was that kind of what you were saying or was I way off?
Well, I do think that you should you should tag like there's no reason not to tag like the videographer.
Yeah.
No, and the high profile weddings too. It's like
Mm-hmm.
this is their wedding day. They like paid for their wedding video. Like
Yeah.
it does want to be a focus of them and not like draw too much attention to like big advertisement for the videographer or photographer. But I don't think it hurts to like tag us, you know.
Nice, yeah.
But I'm also
Yeah.
like, if I put a film out there, people are gonna want to know who created this film and they're gonna like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just
Awesome.
delete this whole segment out.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're allowed to have your own opinion. Listeners, vendors that are listening, legally, just ask the videographer if you want to use their content without tagging them or without crediting them. So just any vendor, you know.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just going to say,
you're
I don't
good.
know why anyone would just not tag. And yeah, just asking.
It's happened a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
I've found our banner video, like a banner video that we made on someone's website that they didn't ask for it, and we would have said yes.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah.
what? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me, and I would have said yes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that
True.
person who's using it is at least like referring you or giving you some work or
Hopefully.
that would be a bummer.
But yeah, you're so right. I think asking is the least you can do. Asking and tagging.
Yeah.
You don't have to
just be respectful, you know.
I think that's
Most videographers will say yes.
Yeah.
If you're like Luke, you know, he doesn't really care, so
we're all over here.
Yeah, it's we have so much content out there. It's like hard to keep up with where it all goes sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I think what Luke
and I'm sure you're not even. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I think we don't chase down each film, you know.
Yeah.
Someone used
our
our
4 kids. I mean, I don't think you have time to look for it all.
We're just happy we get it done at the end of the day. So
yeah,
I think that's really the heart of his answers really comes from like us just being overwhelmed. Having a business is hard, so we're just like, yeah, do what you're gonna do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have like
nice.
we have like vendor friends, planners, photographers, everybody. They'll post your video incorrectly in an incorrect aspect ratio, and it'll be like cropped.
That's
and, like,
rough.
That's devastating. You know?
Yeah. Like, wow, this is not as high quality as I made it.
There's, I've had videos I've spent so much time editing and like the bride or groom might have like posted like a incorrect edit, like the rough edit.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, oh no, there was a mistake in there that everybody's going to see and think that that's like our work. And I'm like, oh, and it's like, I mean, there's all those.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah. And then, you know, sometimes people are like messaging me on Instagram and they're saying, hey, these guys, you know, they want to like edit. They're a company that edits wedding videos and they say that they've edited all these wedding videos and they're your wedding videos. Like, this happened with like 3 or 4 times and they've like emailed us like, did they actually edit your films? And I'm like, I have no idea who these people are. Like, I mean, it's just, the internet's wild. It's a wild, wild west. So
yeah. Gosh. Well, I guess that's what you get for being, you know, so popular. So
that's just the internet. Is like people are gonna just take what's out there and run away with it. So
yeah, that's very true.
And last thing I'll say about this topic is one thing that did upset me was we had like brides posted like some of our reels on TikTok and didn't tag us.
The publication brides.
The publication brides. Okay, as a publication, like this is literally your job.
That's unprofessional, yeah.
Like, so we love all our publications and brides. And we did email them and say, tag us. We are.
Yeah, that's good.
People are like, oh, it's TikTok. No one's on here. I'm like,
nah.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Yeah, no, tagging is still a thing on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I know we could talk for like 5 more hours, but we should probably go ahead and wrap this up. Do you have any other like hot takes that we haven't already discussed when it comes to like vendors working with or treating videographers?
I mean, do you want to talk about vendor meals? We haven't harped on that yet.
Sure.
No, I think it just comes down to I think it just comes down to mutual respect, you know? I don't think it's a hot take at all. I think it's just like any problem you have with a videographer, maybe you've had a bad experience in the past and that's like valid, but like don't assume that videographers are some type of way because you like have previously hired someone who wasn't professional, you know?
Yeah.
I just love when there's not like a hierarchy on a wedding. Like, yes, like planners are ready to go, like everyone needs to like respect each other. You know, a photographer might be, you know, they might have flown in from like across the country or something, but like the bride and groom should be like who we're all here to serve at the end of the day. They should be like the king and queen of this. And everybody should just treat each other as like mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I think we'll just have like an awesome flowing wedding day for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Shouldn't be a hot take, but you know what? I think it is.
Something needs to be said. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like there's anything else that you want to share either towards couples or vendors before we wrap this thing up?
yeah, I think that kind of like what we might have said earlier is like, look at like whoever you're going to choose to film your wedding, just like look for consistency, look at their full body of work, ask for like, you know, see a ceremony film or reception film, highlight film, and just look for consistency. And I don't know, I think it's my best advice for like bride and grooms looking for somebody, you know.
I don't know if I have anything else to add. I think, yeah, I mean, I think just getting to know your vendors, getting to know their work, getting to know their personalities beforehand. I don't think that's a new piece of advice, but I do think it's really important.
Yeah, like take that phone call with them, take that video chat, tell them when a bride or groom's like, we don't have any questions, we just want to say hi and meet you and like get to know you before the wedding day. That's like, that great. Makes us feel like, you know, encouraged. Yeah, having that extra little, you know, we want to meet you. You know, we might be like, you know, I don't know.
And to trust your vendors too, you know, trust them that they're going to do, like, you don't need to give us a shot list. Like, we have been doing this now for a long time and we've been to every wedding that you can imagine and seen all the problems and all the things, you know, so like, just trust us at this caliber. Like we know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. And where can listeners follow along with you guys, your social media, your website, all that good stuff?
I think Instagram is our best bet.
Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I mean, we're all there, but
yeah, send us a message. We really like talking to other vendors and couples, even if they're not like potential clients. It's like, it makes the world feel small. Like it feels like once you've been in it for a long time, you like, they might not hire you, but they will hire your friend, you know, so it's just fun to be in the community.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, we will share your social media links and your website link in the show notes as well. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on today. I really enjoyed this episode.
Thank you. This was so fun, Gracie.
Yeah. I will talk to you guys later.
Thank you, Gracie. It was so fun chatting.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wedding Pro podcast. If you found this episode helpful, we would love it for you to share with a fellow vendor or someone who's getting married soon. Your support means the world to us and helps us reach more people in this amazing industry. We'll see you next time.